Not Worth the Time with Wade Taylor. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Not Worth the Time. We're here. We're doing it. It is going to be a fun-filled episode. Guys, thanks for tuning in. It's been a couple weeks. It's been a fucking eventful couple weeks. Goddamn. Went out to Salt Lake City. If you guys came out and saw me do some stand-up out there, I appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was worth the wait. I had some good sets, some bad sets. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Had to work for it. You know, the fun thing about doing stand-up in other places where you don't normally perform is the fact that the references aren't always the same. I totally forgot that the Elks lounges that exist here, or like the Eagles clubs or stuff like that, don't necessarily exist around the Salt Lake area. Got to look into the references at that point and make sure they understand it. But it is what it is. I got them back, though. You explain the joke, you get a little couple tags in. What that tells you is you just got to write some jokes explaining it better what the place is. You know? You just got to paint a better picture. You can't rely on everybody knowing exactly what the fuck you're talking about. So that's on me as a performer. I got to just do a little better. And that's why you go on the road, people, so you can learn what works and what doesn't to connect to the masses out there. By the way, if you want to come see me do some stand-up here shortly, I'm going to read off these dates at the beginning of the podcast. So you guys hear, you can come see me March 18th in Keokuk, Iowa. The week you're hearing this, I will be there that Saturday, March 18th. Keokuk, Iowa, down in the old southeast part of Iowa. Come out to that. That's going to be a fun Irish celebration show. Being Irish, that's why I'm wearing green. It's festive right now. Welcome to St. Paddy's Day week, where shit shows begin. I feel bad for any college town right now. Those motherfuckers, dude. I remember what St. Paddy's Day was like. I wasn't this bad. We were bad on Visha, not during St. Paddy's Day week. I guess also a lot of people are on spring break. Yeah, we were at spring break. We went and terrorized other towns. I think that's why spring break is on St. Paddy's Day weekend. Okay, that's why schools are like, we're going to have our spring break now, because they don't want their towns to be destroyed. The locals can destroy them now. The college towns, they let the locals have their fun on St. Paddy's Day and destroy the town. If you allowed the college students to stay there, oh boy. If you didn't encourage them to take out extra money on their student loans to go party during St. Paddy's Day week, woo! Shit would be hitting the fan, boy. We would destroy it. No, that's what Visha's for at Iowa State. That's what we used Visha for. That was our time to destroy Ames. It wasn't during football season. No, it was when we celebrated the core schools that first founded Iowa State University. I was part of the class that got that removed for a few years. They canceled that event altogether because we partied too hard. You know how hard you have to party to fucking destroy like a over 100-year tradition? That's how fucking hard we partied. Oh, the Visha riot. So senseless. So senseless. Yeah, but that's why those schools want you to go party on St. Paddy's Day, dude. They want you to take that extra loans so you can go down to Daytona Beach or South Padre Island, dude, and just rage. Getting more student debt. Fuck it. Eventually they'll, relieve it, and then you just got a free vacation on the government dime that you eventually pay back with taxes. There is no escape. There's no such thing as a free vacation. You will pay back. Anyway, St. Paddy's Day, the day after St. Paddy's Day, I'll be in Keokuk, Iowa, March 18th. So come out to that show. March 24th, I'll be in Council Bluffs, Iowa, hometown hero returning. Going to be at the Third Base Bar and Grill. That's going to be a great show. It's me and Sam Hershock and some other local comics there in Council Bluffs. So come out and check that out if you're in the CB area. That'll be a great show. April 5th, I'll be in Des Moines, Iowa at the Peachtree Brewery downtown. Come out to that one. That's a great showcase put on by the awesome Dan Umpton. That's going to be a fucking great show. So come out to that one. Then April 8th, if you're in the Lincoln area, I'll be at the Storm Cellar in Lincoln, Nebraska. So come out to that show at the Storm Cellar. That's going to be a fun show. That room's really cool. It's going to be a great time. So come check me out on April 8th that weekend. And then April 14th, Knoxville, Iowa at the Peachtree Brewer Company in Knoxville, Iowa. That's going to be a fun show with me, Dan Umpton, Brandon Ream, Sam Hershock. That's going to be a fucking killer show. You're definitely going to come out to that. So those are all the shows coming up. I'll probably ramble them off again at the end of the podcast, but thank you for letting me ramble off that. Come see me do stand-up, guys. I'm trying to get out there more, and that's what I want to do. I do this podcast because I love entertaining you guys. Let me come entertain you for a night out with drinks. Let me do the jokes to help you get laid with your man or your woman, you know? Let me prime it with my awesome sexual material. Yeah, they say advertisers have put out my stand-up is like a natural aphrodisiac. My stand-up has the same effects of eating oysters. That's how good my stand-up is. Oh, man. Guys, what a couple of weeks it's been, though. It's been a fun one. I've enjoyed the last couple of weeks just tremendously, just getting out, doing stuff. Salt Lake was a blast, had so much fun out there. I got to do one of my favorite things while I was out there, which is go to the Natural History Museum. If you're ever in the Salt Lake City area, the University of Utah has a awesome natural history museum. And why is it awesome? Well, do you know that most of the dinosaur bones discovered in the United States mostly have come from the state of Utah? Most people don't know that. It's very funny that the Mormons, out of all the people who believe in their religion so hard, picked a place where their headquarters is where we find 165 million-year-old dinosaur bones. To be like, no, see, there was dinosaurs. And they're just like, no. The headquarters of the Mormon church, right downtown, dude. Them Latter-day Saints are just down there like, no, it's only been around this long. And it's like, well, we have a building about a mile and a half away that has other stuff. They're like, Satan fucking put it there. Okay, bud. Okay. Sorry. Well, we'll let you go back to trying to get your own planet and not drinking caffeine. For someone who hasn't been drinking caffeine, they are high-strung, you know. It's not a trip to Utah, too, if you don't see a Mormon missionary or have them approach you, which they did. You know, they love to come up and talk to you. I like entertaining them. You know, you quiz them. You know, I know enough about it now that I'm dangerous enough I can ask the right questions. You know, I want to see what these lads have been taught. Were they paying attention in seminary school? I don't even know if it's seminary school. I don't know what you have to do in order to become a good salesman of the Mormon religion, but I know enough to be deadly about it. Here's a fun one, you guys. Here's my tips and tricks if you ever get approached or have a couple young Mormon lads come knock on your door and ask you if you've heard the good news. That's Jehovah's Witnesses, but they still want to talk to you, right? You can even ask them. You can ask Jehovah's Witness too. This is a fun one. Just confuse them. Just mix up the religions and just ask them this question. Be like, yeah, is it true though? Like, I'd like to maybe convert, especially because I'd like to get laid, you know, and I'd like to, you know, get married, and that seems like the only way I can get married in Mormonism. It's the only way I can get laid is by getting married. Is it true that once I get married, there's a room off to the side of the altar where I can just go bang my wife while everybody else goes into the reception and has hors d'oeuvres? That is a fucking true fact, by the way. That's something I was told by an ex-Mormon, so I hope it's true anyway. I don't even want to look it up. I should look it up and make that true. But they told me that in the churches, there's a room off to the side. After you get married, you can just take your new betrothed wife in there and you can deflower her while your family eats fucking shrimp puffs. You can't drink alcohol either. That nobody in your family can drown out the sounds of you pounding away at your girlfriend. Or now, sorry, not your girlfriend, your wife. No one can drown that sound out. You can just hear the two pumps until that dude climaxes. I bet you that's where two pump chump originated. It's from Mormon weddings. My friend told me this, and she'd been in multiple weddings, and she said the craziness is like the the expression on their faces, because there'd be like a dude in there, like the husband come out, and they're sitting at their table getting ready for the dinner portion of their wedding, and they're like smiling like, oh my god, that was amazing, and the girls always look so disappointed. It's such a crazy thing. They don't know anything about it. They're just not taught. It's so sheltered. It's crazy. But I guess, to each their own, right? To each their own. Yeah. But I did go to the Natural History Museum. You think the Natural History Museum would show some sexual things to help those Mormon men and women out so they know what they're doing better? I just know what I love about the Natural History Museum is I like going there with my friends. I invited a couple of the boys that I know from Salt Lake. We all went up there. It's a good time. It's funny how many of them don't know about it. These are dudes who grew up there their whole life, and they've never really gone there and checked it out. And they're just like, "Oh my god, this place is so cool." I'm like, "Dude, yeah, this shit like this. I love seeing dinosaur bones, dude. They got a giant gator there, you guys. A gator that's like 30 feet long." And the head, I don't know how much that thing weighed, but it's a Jurassic era gator, and it is fucking scary. Like, I'm so glad humans didn't live amongst those things, And it's awesome. But it's fun when you go with the boys to the Natural History Museum, because it just devolves into a middle school field trip experience again. It's just the boys out fucking roughhousing, dude. The only thing that was missing from that was the back of the bus hang that you have when you're going to and from the museum, It just needed somebody getting picked on too much, where someone in the back was going, fucking stop it, guys, I'm serious, fucking stop, I'm tired of it. That's the only thing missing from this trip to the museum. Otherwise, it was fantastic. We were just laughing and joking and just making horrific jokes just about things that you see in the museum. So it was just such a fun time. The dumb thing that I came up with was we actually had one of our buddies knew someone who worked at the museum, and they actually came down and were very nice, and they showed us around, and they gave us information on what they were experts in, which a lot of it was Native American artifacts and cultures from the area of Utah. And what I found out is there's the arrowheads that they used around that area were actually from volcanic rock. And there's no volcanoes around Utah. But they could trace back how old the rock was and find out what volcano it came from based off of the rock material. Because I guess every volcano has its own signature in like soil content that you can actually compare it to. And my dumbass goes, whoa, so you're telling me that volcanoes like have their own DNA signature? And she goes, oh my god, yeah, that's actually right. That's 100% right. That's a good way to put it. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And I didn't say this to them because I knew they're an actual scientist, and I was like, I'm not gonna say what this thought was. But after they left and stuff, I turned to my buddy and go, hey, dude, does that mean like when a volcano erupts, it's just the earth coming? And we just both started laughing. I was thinking about how those people in Pompeii just got absolutely launched on, dude. That was the biggest fucking bukkake of all time. Anytime a volcano erupts, that's just Earth giving itself the 5-knuckle shuffle, you guys. Dormant volcanoes are just the Earth edging itself, okay? Eventually it's going to erupt. That's what Old Glory is, okay? Old Faithful in Yellowstone right now is just edging itself. It just kind of shoots a little bit, but then it fucking retains it. Oh, God. That's what Old Faithful is, okay? That's the Earth edging itself. Yeah, it's a wild thing to know that that's what's going on with the Earth. And it makes sense now that we know that the Earth has like a giant metal ball in the center of it. That's a new thing scientists discovered. So, of course it is. Of course the Earth is splooging, So that was my big takeaway from the Natural History Museum this time, is that volcanoes are just Earth's G-spots where they fucking shoot out. The guys are out. They're just, oh, God. And it makes sense. it does make sense. Think about Hawaii. It's all rock. It's islands made out of volcanic rock. So it's the bringer of life. You know, Hawaii was just underwater volcanoes, right? That was the volcanoes shooting up DNA and just cramming the sock down to the bottom of the drawer of the dresser drawer. It's like we gotta hide this, but eventually that just like starts to build up and eventually surfaces, and you can't hide that shame anymore. And how do you cover it up? With some nice tropical Febreze. That's how you cover up that cum smell, and that's why we have Hawaii. Yeah, you'll never look at Hawaii the same again, will you? Going on vacation and you go to those black sand beaches, you're just standing on volcano cum. Oh, man. So immature. So immature. But I wouldn't have it any other way, you guys. I wouldn't have it any other way. But that was one of the fun perks of going out to Salt Lake. It was great to see all my boys and hang out, do stand up. God damn, it was fun. So, I guess now we should probably hop into the article I found this week, right? Right? Yeah. And with all this talk nowadays about what we're trying to do with, what do you want to call it? Benefits, right? People are trying to talk about benefits a lot, and people always want new ones, especially as the times evolve and change. And I found this Wall Street Journal article that I thought would be really good, and it's called 5 New Work Perks You'll See in the Future. Now, there are people who think the world is changing faster than it is, and we need to just start doing some things, right? So we're going to find out what they have. Let's go. Let's see here. So it's called, like I said, it says daycare for parents, hyper-personalized benefits. Companies compete for employees will cater to different life stages in the coming years. So let's read on about this. This is actually pretty cool because like the Wall Street Journal did like a slideshow for this. So this is pretty tight. I'll show you guys. The workforce of the future may be made up of a great mix of employees of all ages as people are live and work longer, economists project. As a result, companies compete with these workers are expected to offer more benefits tailored to the needs of different stages of life. Here's a look ahead of evolving work perks and benefits in the coming decades. Let's see here. Stints and sabbaticals. Options for working abroad, stints, and sabbaticals will be increased. Managers predict and promoted by millennials and Gen Zers who say travel and life experiences are the key to their happiness. Yeah, so we want to work, but we also don't want to not take we also don't want to take vacation days and be able to go Paddy, according to this, which does make sense. There's it's becoming more and more accessible to just work wherever you want. At a certain point, I can't believe how many places are still trying to get you to go back into the office. The amount of places, and I think it's just because they've already paid for it, the amount of companies that still want to make you come into the office when you don't even need to is insane. And I think it's really because a lot of companies were renting out buildings. The company I work for used to rent around 5 or 6 big buildings to house people, and they've gotten rid of a ton of them, and they've consolidated it to almost one. And that's a good thing, but you're still having to come in the office. It's at a certain point, they're going to just have to just let people work from home. You're going to save money on your energy costs. I mean, at a certain point, like the electricity bill, the property taxes, you could save so much by not having that big of a place on your books, for sure. Although I wonder at that point, do you get to write off your electric bill or your internet bill if you're using it for work? I wonder how that kind of stuff works. I don't know anything about taxes, and I'm never going to act like I do. Those goddamn redcoats of the IRS make it so confusing. So, okay, but people want to work abroad, I guess, which I wonder if there's taxes involved with that. Like if you go work in Paris for a month, like you probably have to pay taxes because you're working in Paris. There's got to be something with that. I don't know. Global mindset, empathy, and respecting different cultures are all accomplished by sending employees to different places, says Jennifer Moss, a workplace strategist and author. For those who want to travel while completely disconnected from their work, sabbaticals are another future perk, and more will be earned faster after 5 years or less on the job. Wait, how long do you typically have to wait for a sabbatical now? I wonder, was it like 10 years or something like that? That seems, I have no idea how long you have to wait to do a sabbatical. I do like how they're talking about a global mindset. Like, people are going to Paris and stuff because they want to make sure they understand cultures and like they'll do better. And this way I'll be more understanding and tolerant. I can think of a couple things that or why that's not actually going to do anything. There's quite a few people who are like, I'm going to go do a sabbatical, but I'm going to go to Florida. There are people who don't want to get outside the U.S., and I'm only looking at this as from a U.S. perspective. I'm sure the other countries are completely different. I know a couple people who live overseas, and they just go to different countries all the time. They work remotely like that, which is, but Europe, especially the EU, is basically like the United States in the fact that you can just hop between, it's like hopping between states. So completely different experience. Let's go to the next one. Daycare for your parents. Dropping off your parents at the employee subsidized care center could become a regular part of the workday in the coming years. This is insane to me. The idea that you are going to have your parents come to work with you. Dude, just having an intercom, it's this like, well, Wade Taylor, please come down to the office, please. Wade Taylor, come down to the office. And my dad's just fucking throwing a fit for some reason. It's like, God damn it, dude. You got to take him up to your desk for a little bit because he wants to hang out. Luckily, I think most adults would be fine with that, but it is funny to think of them. It just sounds like they're trying to treat old people like toddlers, dude. It sucks. The back half of that is so I can't even describe it. And after I saw like how my grandfather had to kind of go through things and stuff, especially watching him as someone who was like a get up and go person, it's such a downgrade from what you thought it was like, and what you want to do. It's just being almost stagnant. I think that's what holds you back. It's like that's why like you almost deteriorate faster because you're not doing stuff. Yeah. So but having a daycare at work for your parents is crazy. I wonder at a certain point, okay, there's going to be some cross-generation daycare happening, right? Because, like, let's say you have kids, right? You have kids, right? And then your parents, you got your parents who are living with you too because they're old enough now. But you have younger kids and you got to take them to daycare. Well, now you got daycare with your parents and your kids. So now the grandparents can hang out with the kids. You can do a little cross activity there, do knitting and also finger painting. I think it'd be great. The grandparents just hanging out with the grandkids all day. What's up? That sounds like a fucking great time to me. See, now I'm more on board with this. Then it's at least you're not having your kids go to some daycare that being raised by some stranger. At least it's your parents, even though maybe their teaching methods you didn't agree with when you were growing up. But better than that, let's read on here. On-site care centers for the elderly are coming. It's already being discussed in some universities, says Jane Akasis, president and CEO of a nonprofit, CHC, Creating Healthier Communities. As a result, employers are exploring how to support workers in a way beyond offering leave or stipends or subsidized care. Dr. Acosta says some startups are also looking to fill that need. Yeah. Oh my God. Could you imagine bringing, like, let's be real here. Most older people you kind of become more conservative as you go. So if like they're already having like a senior center care center on a university campus, dude. Just seeing all the blue-haired, green-haired girls while you're out, and all the protest groups, dude. The fucking viral videos that'll come out of that, like of this, your grandfather getting out of the getting out of the care center, walking around campus. Just fucking screaming at some girl protesting. You don't know shit about how the world works, you dumb bitch. Dude. Okay, seniors, we're gonna go on our nature walk today. They walk through they walk through Central Campus, seeing all the fucking protests. And will you sign this for marijuana activist? All right, get that hippie shit away from me. You goddamn reefer heads. Dude, see, you would have to have them separated. They can't walk through Central Campus, or you have to be like, all right, kids, I'm sorry, but like it's the seniors' time to get to Central Campus to walk through. You have to go, otherwise you know what happens. We don't need Central Campus to become Thunderdome again, okay? These guys fought in Korea and shit. Why don't these ladies shave their armpits, Grandpa? It's a choice. Oh, dude, that's fucking great. Anyway, let's go on. What's the next one? On-site counselors. As workers' mental health suggests to gain attention, companies are looking for new ways to respond. Oh, dude. A corporate fucking therapist sounds like a conflict of interest. They want to keep their job. That's a cushy job, I would feel like, to be a company therapist. You're an on-site therapist. For anybody to come into this particular work, you have to be their therapist. Whew, that seems like a cushy job, but it also seems like hell. Ugh, man. I don't think I could do it, because then all your coworkers are going to the same therapist. You've all been spilling the tea on all of the other therapists, or all their other clients. That therapist is getting both sides of the stories, which maybe it's healthier that way. Maybe it works out better. But goddamn, dude, no, I need a place where I can just bring the fucking heat and know that they don't know who I'm talking about. Not that I've ever been to therapy. I haven't, because I'm a coward. And that's why I'm better to admit to myself that I'm a coward. That's why I don't go to therapy, because I don't want to explore emotions. Today, many employers are offering subscriptions to online therapy like Talkspace or meditation apps like Headspace. Meditation app? What the fuck does a meditation app do? I've been trying to get into meditation, but it's I don't understand it. I do like the sitting in quiet. It does help, but I don't know how an app's going to help you. Anyway, the next iteration could be moved to provide an in-person or on-site counselor with therapists or coaches, giving employees a venue to discuss work-related issues as well as personal problems. Human resources executives say. Employees will be encouraged to take time from their workday on the company dime. Okay, wait. Are you telling me I no longer, if I start going to the company therapist, I get paid to go to therapy now? Swish. Dude, I'll work on myself if I don't have to do spreadsheets. Wait, you're telling me I can take an hour out of the week and you'll pay for it, for me to go talk about how I hate my job? If that doctor confidentiality statement's got to be airtight, okay? Because I'm going to bring some heat down on everybody that I work with, okay? That's going to be the vent session of a lot. It's going to be steamy in there, okay? She's better wear a parka and be in an iceberg lounge when I walk in there, because I'm going to bring the heat. Oh, man. That would be sick, though, getting paid to bitch and moan. I mean, some people do it to their coworkers already. You know, we all have know a couple of those people. They all go over to another person's desk and they just fucking let somebody have it. Not to that person. They're not yelling at that person, but they're talking about somebody else that they're just had it with, and that is the dumping ground. That is the dumping ground. Let's go to the next one. Post parental leave. Now, paid parental leave is widespread. Watch for companies to add transitional period at the end of that break, designed to let employees ease back into work. Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that idea for parents. So it's like you go from not working at all to like slowly, like, yeah, we're gonna give you, you're gonna do like 15 hours a week, and back to like 20 hours a week, and you just do like a steady climb to make sure you can kind of ease back into that workflow. That's a good idea. I hope that's what this is anyway. Some companies are offering a few days working part-time after leave. The other are a longer transition. Another option is a stagger return, a component of leave that is just as important as leave itself. Is the return to work plan, says Jessica Martos, PAE's Director of Human Resources. Yeah, that makes total sense. I'd never thought about that before, but goddamn, that should be a thing, more of a thing for sure. Let's see here. Hyper personalized benefits. Imagine a company covering ski equipment as an employee prefers their form of exercise, or housekeeping services counting under wellness stipends. Whoa. That would be interesting. A housekeeping. God, people would abuse the fuck out of that. Can you imagine just leaving a pile of dishes in your goddamn sink? Be like, I'll have the fucking housekeeper do it. It's part of my benefits. I'll use my HSA to I can cover the dishes. Getting ski equipment done would be pretty sick, though. Like you get your own snowboard and stuff, dude. I get extreme off of my company's dime. That's what's up. I can go hit the half pipe this week. Honestly, though, if they cover, I don't understand why more companies don't do this. Mine doesn't do it. I don't think I've ever worked for any company that has done it. But if you just did a benefit program for the gym, I think it would work wonders for people. For me, it would be awesome. I do use the gym a lot, and to get reimbursed and to make sure that I'm being healthy in that aspect, which if I'm healthy, I'm not as sick as much, I'm going into work more often, it's a win-win for everybody. I think they should try to cover your gym expenses more. It's definitely way better. Anyway, customized benefits aim to meet employees' needs in various locations. Age range and family situations will overtake traditional benefits in the coming years, human resource experts predict. Yeah, and that's the end of that article. Isn't that fun? Isn't that nice to know? Soon you will be able to just do so much cool shit, like offload your parents onto some 23-year-old graduate out of college, some person who wanted to teach kindergarten classes, but they've now closed down public schools because of who knows why. The funding finally got cut more, so they make more money doing arts and crafts with old people. That's who you're going to pawn off your 65, 70-year-old parents onto. Isn't that great? But the company bought you ski equipment, and you can go talk about, and then you can go to a free therapist and have them and talk about how your dad, you got this cool ski equipment, but because your dad's there, now you can't go fucking ski because you got to take care of him full time. But luckily, that counselor will be able to talk you off the edge. You can never leave work. You can never leave work. Why don't you go take a nap in the pod? Don't leave campus, go back to your spreadsheets. Work until you're dead, until you end up in that senior care center while your kid replaces you. We're in a fucking cycle. Wow, that got depressing at the end there, didn't it? Yeah. You want to know if you want to hear me say more funny stuff? Come to those dates again, guys. Remember, come to March 18th, Keokuk, Iowa. March 24th, Council Bluffs, Iowa. April 5th, we'll be in Des Moines, Iowa at the Peachtree Brewing Company. April 8th in Lincoln, Nebraska at the Storm Cellar. April 14th in Knoxville at the Peachtree Brewery Company out there. Those are the dates. Come out and watch me do stand up. And guys, if you need something to entertain you in between that, go to punninggame.com. You know it. You love it. That's why you're here right now. Punninggame.com has all your favorite podcasts. Who Gives a F? Empty Parlor. Not Worth the Time. All that cool stuff. So go check that out. Also, Comic Wade Taylor, guys. Comic Wade Taylor on YouTube. That's where you can find the video version of this podcast. Watch the slideshow with me. It's a great time. The videos are doing really well. I appreciate everybody subscribing. It's doing well. Go there, do that, subscribe. I really appreciate it. Check out my half hour there, Wild Horses. That's up there for you guys. So go and check that out. Also, don't forget to go to the Punting Game shop, get yourself t-shirts, hoodies, all sorts of cool shit to represent your favorite shows here at puntinggame.com. So, and don't forget to use promo code NWTPOD. That's NWT Pod, and that gets you free shipping at checkout, guys. NWT Pod, free shipping. Gotta love it. Guys, thank you for listening to Not Worth the Time. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. And remember, don't do anything I wouldn't do.